Breaking tonight at 6, it's not the ending anyone had hoped for. Investigators finding a body believed to be that of 6-year-old Maddox Ritch, putting an end to a desperate 6-day search. Investigators finding the body in Long Creek, just off Old Dallas Road in Gastonia. Maddox has been missing since Saturday. His dad, the last person to see him before he disappeared from Rankin Lake Park. Despite today's discovery, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. Perhaps the biggest, we still don't know how his body ended up in that creek, but investigators do say they believe the family's story. One thing that is certain, the investigation into what exactly happened is far from over. Hundreds of people have been part of the search for this little boy, and it is clear today's tragic discovery has had an impact on many.
Our community's heartbroken, our searchers, our investigators. This is not the end that we had hoped for. We have crews spread out across Gaston County covering every development. Our live team coverage starts now with Tanya Mendez. Tanya, you've been following this story closely all week long. Certainly not the ending any of us were praying for.
No, you know, this all began at the park here behind me several days ago, and now it comes to an end just about a mile away in a creek. Everybody said they were hoping for closure, but nobody wanted to see it like this.
I'm heartbroken.
A soul-crushing find for 15 searchers today.
We have found what we believe is Maddox.
This is not the end that we had hoped for.
A team of firefighters, police officers, retracing steps they'd walked many times before through and along the bank of Long Creek.
The chief and I saw Maddox, and it is absolutely amazing that he was found. It was extremely difficult to see him even when we were standing right next to him.
Maddox's body found just 1 mile from where his father said he last saw him, at Rankin Lake Park Saturday. The investigation now shifts into how Maddox wound up in the creek. The creek does connect to the lake in the park, but the chief says there are barriers, so it would have been impossible for his body to float to where it was found. They're now looking at some of the greenway trails that do connect to the park and the creek to see if there's any sign that Maddox may have walked along that path.
The investigation is not over. We will not take anything for granted. So there's a lot of work, and there's a lot of people that have lost a lot of sleep and are committed to continuing to making sure that we answer every question that we can about where Maddox was, how his movement occurred, and how it was that he ended up where he did.
Which is why police say they still want to hear from people who were inside the park that day. They desperately want to try to put together the pieces and how everything unfolded. Meanwhile, Maddox's parents were given the awful news this afternoon that their son is gone. However, an autopsy still has to officially confirm that the body that was found was Maddox, but the FBI says they believe it is him. Reporting live in Gaston County, I'm Tanya Mendez, NBC Charlotte. Such a tragic ending here, Tanya. Thank you.